Hello, let's keep it moving. Today we're going to talk about health and health systems. We got to understand that the number one health system on the planet is TCM, which stands for Traditional Chinese Medicine. That's the number one form of medicine on the planet. Number two is homeopathy. This is the type of doctor that the King of England has. That's the number two. We'll be talking a lot about traditional Chinese medicine probably. We won't talk much about homeopathy, so I'll just say a few words about it now.
Basically, the way homeopathy was developed is based on vibrations and energy. You get a sickness and it causes X symptoms. While you eat a certain plant and it causes the same sick symptoms. So because both things created the same symptom, you can take the plant that made you sick, like the symptoms of the sickness, and by taking the vibration of that to a certain degree, you can balance out and heal the sickness that is manifesting symptoms that are the same parallels as symptoms manifested by the plant. And so they have a whole process by which you take the plant and extract the energy from it. And homeopathy is a very powerful form of medicine. Number one is traditional Chinese medicine. Let's just say a few words about that. It goes back to the Yellow Emperor, 2600 BC. And the Yellow Emperor's classic, the oldest book on medicine. And they've been doing traditional Chinese medicine since 2600 BC. And it's very effective. Number three is Western herbology.
Number four is pharmaceutics. Okay, however you spell it. Pharmaceutics is number four. So now in America, our first source is pharmaceutics. Some people have heard of herbs, maybe it's some herbalism. Very few people have heard of homeopathy. Certain upper echelons that people know about, like I said, this is what the King of England does. So people that are into the King of England understand that. Well, the traditional Chinese medicine is really where it's at. They have a hospital in Beijing, China, with a 95% cure rate for cancer.
We need to talk about the different paths of medicine a little bit, because you got the Western and the Eastern Hemisphere. Okay, so this is the world, and so this is the West, this is the East, and both of these deal with science. Okay, and science is actually a divine art. God is omnipotent, omnipresent, and omniscient. And omniscient is omniscient. And scient is the word science with a T instead of a C-E.
From the word scient, from the concept of God being all-knowing scient, we have the power to know scient. We're not omniscient. We don't know everything, but we do have the power to know a lot of things. And it's a divine science. But in the West, there is no God. So in the West, there is no God. But in the East, there is yes God. Okay? So in the West, since there's no God in Western science, one of the branches of Western science is medicine. So since there is no God in Western science, there is no God in Western medicine. And since there's no God in Western medicine, that is why there is no cure. There is no cure because there's no God and you can't be healed. And so the body is just a machine. And there's only thing that the Western medicine can do for you, and that is cut and drug. So when you go to the doctor, you're looking for one or two things. Cut me and take this out, or drug me and give me ease. Okay? Because why? They're going to cut something out to treat the symptom instead of figuring out why it's wrong. So many people get surgery unnecessary, you wouldn't believe it. So many people wouldn't have to have surgery if they had just cut a certain thing out of their diet. But, so anyways, it's cut and drug. That's it. That's all you're going to get. Write me some pills or take this out of me. That's not health and wellness, okay? That's called the allopath. Okay? allopathic medicine is Western medicine. You're talking about doctors and nurses and all that. And there's no God in Western science, so there's no God in Western medicine. And you've been taught to think that God then sent you these doctors. Okay? And if you knew about the amount of mistakes, it's some type of astronomical, like, there's as many medical mistakes a year as, letters mailed in America on a day. Or something extreme like that, man. It's just ridiculous. And so, there is no God in that system. You need to quit thinking and believing that God gave you these doctors. And even the doctors, they believe in God and they be hoping and believing, but they in a godless system, not knowing that in the East, God is a fundamental part of the system. In the East is yes God. And the branch of science in the East is medicine. And because there is a God, we understand that the Creator made your body to be perfect and healthy. Unless you have issues that you're born with, which get into different issues. So in the East, okay? In the East, there is a God. Yes, God, okay? And a branch of science in the East is medicine. And so the way they view it is that as long as you're born healthy, okay, God gave you a body to operate healthy and be healthy. And then sickness and disease occurs when you do something to stop that spirit of God from keeping you healthy. So Chinese and Eastern medicine is about finding out what is it that you are doing that is preventing the spirit of God from being able to operate smoothly within you. Because whatever you're doing, if the spirit of God could get to the sickness, it would heal. But you doing some stuff to block it. So let's remove the blockages and let the spirit of God heal it. That's what the East say. The West say, oh, you got that sickness? Let's cut it out. Let's give you these drugs. That's going to make your heart fail. Okay? And so, in the East they say, look, blase, 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 blah. And let's remove the blockages so the spirit can flow. Okay. So anyways, you need to understand this. So you can understand that you need to be into these other forms of medicine. Our families and loved ones don't have to continue to die from sickness and disease, but take health and wellness. And we gotta look at it, holistically. Okay, so if we trying to be holistic, we gotta look at least 3 dimensions in order to look at it 3 ways. Okay, let's make sure we can see that on film. Okay, and so we have to look at it through, tapping. We have to look at it through the breath, breathing, and we have to look at it through thinking. Okay? So, these 3 things, thinking, tapping, and breathing, is how you can be able to obtain and maintain health and wellness. It's all about remaining at peace and staying free from stress and negativity. And when the stress and negativity comes, it's about knowing how to deal with it and grow from it. And so it's 3 different ways to be able to master life in your situations and your stresses. One way is through the breath. You just have to learn to breathe, because if you're ever feeling stressed, it's because your breathing is irregular. And we've explained how by regulating the breath, you regulate the brain. And as long as you're keeping a lot of oxygen in the body through deep belly breathing, you will be immune to certain negative emotions. We learned how through the tapping, you can tap certain places on your body that will send electric signals to the brain to cut off the stress and prevent you from having to feel the stress and receive the negative emotions from the stress hormones. And then in the future, we'll get more into the thinking and to the philosophy. Some of that stuff could be controversial because it's based. Most of my philosophy is spiritual. So I just wanted to get out this information so you have health and wellness.